Do you know what it's like to be me? And before you answer that, no, I don't mean just understanding me. Not just sympathizing. Not even pitying. I mean, do you know what it's like? Here, let me just go ahead and answer that for you. No, you don't.
Jason's a good friend of mine. I've known him for about a year now, and he trusts me quite a bit. He's told me a lot of stuff that's been going on in his head, and honestly, I'm quite honored that he could tell me this stuff, because people with anxiety and depression, I know that they have a very difficult time opening up to people, telling them what's on their mind, and feeling secure, and this is especially true for Jason. He's told me this himself.
You might have a general idea. You might understand in your head. But do you truly know what it feels like to be me? To go through my experiences, to have all of the issues that I have, I can pretty much guarantee that you don't. Does that mean nobody understands me? You know, now that I think about it, probably not. And for that exact reason, I think it's for the best that I at least speak my damn mind for once, even if only to clear my own head. Some of you might respect me, maybe hate me, feel bad for me, or despise every damn thing I stand for. Maybe you'll think I'm brave for speaking up, or maybe you'll just think I'm cringy and edgy. But all you need to know is that this is real. This isn't some act to make myself look tough or try to get attention. Maybe my story will inspire or motivate you, or maybe you'll just think I'm a freak. But you know what? I don't think I really care. I might be hurt by what some of you might think about me after hearing this. I just have to let this out. I'll accept whatever you think of me, but I'd like to hope that no matter what you think, at the very least you can accept and respect the way I feel. So, here it is. This is my story. This is my struggle. I'm not going to sit here and bore you with every little detail, but here's the basic idea of what my life was like. Ever since I was a little kid, I knew I wasn't normal. I was always different. Whether it was within my own family, around other kids, I just wasn't like anyone else. Whatever the hell you consider normal, it's not me. If there's even a such thing these days. I was an outcast. Preferred to be by myself because I just couldn't relate to anyone around me. So I isolated myself. I didn't have friends as a kid and never really had the desire for any, since I didn't know what it felt like to be anything other than alone. So alone I was, and alone I stayed. And for a good while, I was actually happy with that. Well, as happy as you can be like that at least. Ignorance is bliss, right? It can be. And I was a little further beyond just different too. No, I was special. And I don't mean that kid is gonna grow up and be famous one day kind of special. I mean, well, you probably get the idea. So yeah, with that setup alone, I think you have an idea of just how far I can go with all of this, so I won't waste your time with every little life experience I've ever had. But let's just say I've been through a lot. Isolation. Put into mental hospitals 3 times because of my extreme sadness, where I felt like I was treated like a prisoner, which resulted in me getting some kind of PTSD about seeking mental help out of fear of being detained against my will again. I've been manipulated. I've been cheated on. I've been abandoned by people I loved. I've been left entirely by people I thought were my friends, just because they didn't want to listen to me vent about my own personal bullshit. Which I understand, to be honest. Nobody likes a downer, right? They had every right. But it still hurt. I've been made fun of. I've been bullied, scolded, criticized, and not in a constructive way. Yelled at. I've been through a lot in my life. But it's not those that really bother me. Believe it or not, it's actually just myself. I have mild autism. Asperger's syndrome specifically, but I wouldn't be sitting here ranting about my personal bullshit if that was the only thing wrong with me. There's also ADHD, some kind of OCD, I think, fuck if I know. Those have made life really hard for me, especially given all the shit I've put up with. But they aren't what I'm here to tell you about. That was just the background. Because there's 2 other things I suffer from. 2 very serious things that aren't exactly kind to one another, nor any of the other issues that I have. And those things are severe clinical depression and a severe case of general anxiety disorder. Those 2 things tend to clash. Depression causes anxiety. Anxiety causes stress. Stress causes depression. And that's when I do everything perfectly. So what if I'm not perfect? I'm human, I get it, nobody's perfect. I fuck up just like everybody else does. But when I do fuck up, it causes a mentally dangerous snowball effect. I'm not proud of the fact that I blame myself for everything. In fact, that's just another reason that I hate myself. Which causes what I like to call the guilt trap. Every time I fuck up, even if it's just a little mistake, I feel like shit for it. You know how nobody likes people who always feel sorry for themselves? Well, I can agree with that, and I'm like that myself. I'll feel guilty for feeling guilt. That's why it's a trap. It's a never-ending cycle of guilt and self-hatred that is indefinitely fueled by itself, and it never really goes away. I live with that guilt constantly. Depression isn't something that just goes away on its own. The worst part is, like I said before, people may understand. They could even say that they relate, but they don't know exactly what it's like to feel everything that I feel. And it's so hard to explain that to anyone. I think Oliver Sykes put it best. I've said it once, I've said it twice, I've said it 1,000 fucking times, that I'm okay, that I'm fine, that it's all just in my mind. But this has got the best of me, and I can't seem to sleep. And it's not 'cause you're not here with me, it's 'cause you never leave. Every second, every minute, every hour, every day. It never ends. It never ends. And it's made even harder because it's so difficult to find people to relate to. Even among my closest friends. Even to those who know me best. I think it'd be easier if you heard it from one of them.
The thoughts that he's been thinking throughout his entire life, I can't fathom what it's like because I have not gone through that myself. And it makes sense because depression manifests itself in many different ways. It's never the same for every individual. So as much as he's opened up to me, and as much as I've tried to help, it's difficult to know what he's going through, but I think he can pull through.
And so I'm brought back to my initial point. Maybe you suffer from everything I do, but at the end of the day, nobody really knows what it's like, except me. I just hope that someday I could find someone who at least understands what it's like to live with my struggles. But you know what? Despite all of that shit, I think I'm actually happy in life. Yeah. It's a real shock, isn't it? You spent so long listening to me rant on and on about how living with my issues sucks, yet here I am saying that life is worth it despite it all. But at the end of the day, I think I'll be alright. This is still my story. That was just the prologue.